Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Day After Podcast.
How's it going, guys? Hope everything's going well. Hope your summers are coming to a nice little end, even though still have the fall month. So use that month wisely.
Exactly, it's coming here. It's almost done. But it's also almost done. This season 3 of series 2. This is the last one before All Stars.
I know, and this one, and we've had some really, really good ones, though. Last one subverting all expectation.
Yeah.
That one was interesting. The fact of I don't know, it was just you didn't really know what to expect. Everyone
Yeah,
kind of
we had like 6 sleeper threats.
I know. Uh,
No, I
anyway,
expect this to be very different. I expect there to be a lot of people in your face trying to vie for attention.
oh yeah, we've got big personalities because this one, it's an all villain season. Since Suicide Squad, when we're recording this, is coming out tomorrow, but technically tonight. That gave me the idea to just do an all villain season. Survivor, Suicide Squad. We've gotten
Yeah.
some of the worst contestants, most notable villains, whether it's their actions or how they play the game. Yeah. And so here we have nothing but villains.
Yeah, I should also say that the real Survivor Suicide Squad members are going to be the people who make the merge. I do have the merge there, so it's going to be a special kind of title for everyone who's able to make it to the merge of heroes versus villains, which it's a lot further in to make it to the merge in this season.
Halfway.
So they're gonna have to actually fight for it if they want to gain that Brant Steele Survivor Suicide Squad title.
Exactly. But yeah, so how about we introduce the not troops, or let's introduce the people that are gonna get blown up.
Yep. Okay, so first up, we got the one of the few people from Gabon that I really liked, and unfortunately, he goes out right before the merge, and that's Ace Gordon. He seemed like he was lining himself up to be the villain of the season. To be honest, he definitely had that kind of I'm gonna have Sugar basically do my bidding for me, and I'm going to let her get all this heat, and I'm going to get to the end, and that's going to be the case. But then he didn't realize that Sugar is a loose cannon and just turned on him.
Yeah, Ace was, my first time watching Gabon, that being one of the only seasons where I didn't know who won. I thought Ace was going to go really deep in the game, and him, going out so suddenly was a little bit shocking. Yeah. But yeah,
he also looks like one of our acting for camera teachers, Todd Patrick.
He does a bit. I would say Ace is a bit. I don't want to say chubbier, but Todd Patrick, he's a bit more slimmer in the face. Ace has a more broader face.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Ace is someone where I see on a lot of lists of if they were to do a second chance too, that Ace would probably be one of the people they would want to see. He shows up quite a bit on that regard. So
yeah, he's one of the pre-merge people that I definitely want to get brought back, and he's not too old. He could still come back if he wanted to, of course.
Agreed. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, next up we got Brad Culpepper. Definitely a pretty big villain on his Blood versus Water season, plus his Game Changer season.
This is one where he kind of gets painted as a villain his first season, and he tries super hard to fix it in Game Changers. He's one where I was like, yeah, I can see him as a villain, but I think deep down he's not really a villain. But
I mean, he's edited in a way. I think both seasons very much that he's the foil to other people's games. Yeah, I mean, I like him actually. I rooted for Brad honestly in both seasons. Like I was kind of upset when he went early in Blood versus Water. Glad he came back in Game Changers.
Yeah.
Although I'm glad he didn't come back in Second Chance. I think he wasn't better than any people that got brought back for Second Chance in terms of the guys.
Yeah, that was a pretty stacked pool.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came back for the right season. He played a little differently. He could have been a winner, but regardless, I think he's a really, really great contestant, and I hope we see him again in the future. And like, if they do another Survivor season where they bring returnees, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
I feel like this season he's definitely going to prove, or he's going to try and prove that he's not actually a villain.
Yeah. That's the interesting thing is that just like in the actual heroes versus villains, some of the villains had hero arcs. Like Jerry Manthe was really more playing like a hero, even though she was a villain. So
I know. There were even a few heroes on the hero tribe where I was like, especially after I rewatched everything, I'm like, James was a big one because James, he's very charismatic, but he can be kind of a jerk sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, I always found it interesting that Suri and Amanda kind of get like the hero edit at the in Heroes vs. Villains, but Parvati, who even though that they were kind of like a threesome that controlled and dominated the game together, like Parvati is the one who gets the villain mantle.
Maybe it's because of you'll go down as the dumbest Survivor contestant ever. Like, she can be savage with her hearts, and flirtation could be seen as a villainy thing.
Yeah, maybe.
So I can see why she was on there.
Yeah. I definitely felt like Survivor painted their history with heroes versus villains in that one, where they gave the labels of who's the villains and who's the heroes for certain seasons. Yeah.
It's their show.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Sugar shouldn't have been a hero. I'm just saying, but let's move on.
No. All right. And here's someone who definitely earned his villain rights. We have Brandon Hance, his debut on our channel. He's someone where I've thought about bringing him a few times, but because of how he went out, he's a little bit of a controversial person. So in a Suicide Squad all villain season, I feel like you have to bring him, one, because of all the crap he did on season 26, pretty much screwing up everything around camp. We're yelling, going crazy, about to go to fist with Phillip, who's also on this team, so that's going to be interesting. Then again, I'm the one that brought Phillip too, but
there's also like one of the only cases where the tribe actually just said, we don't want to even compete for immunity. You win. We just want to get him out. And they just voted him out there.
And not even just that, but the season prior, what he did to Michaela, where it was like, oh, I don't like her because she's too revealing and stuff, and it's giving me impure thought. Just like, that's kind of like wrong, just to be like, oh, I can't control my own feelings, therefore I want to take it out on her instead of separating myself from the situation. So like, for those reasons, he goes down and he's on this list.
I'd say I would consider a South Pacific game more of an anti-hero game, and then obviously Caramoan is a villain game without a doubt, because he definitely was trying to be loyal in South Pacific with like the coach mentality and everything. Like a coach just brainwashed a bunch of people, so they just all followed. So I guess there's that.
That's the thing. Sometimes contestants might seem like more like a villain or a hero, depending on how that season frames them. I'd say one of the biggest examples of that is, Wendell. One of the biggest, two polar opposites, very charismatic his first season, painted as a villain and kind of like the next.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we have Colton. Now, Colton was also someone I've been thinking about bringing for quite some time, but just never the right season to bring him. Because I was like,
Yeah.
oh, there's someone more worthy. Because one, he quit and went, constantly yelling at his teammates, putting them
Mhm.
down, being catty, doing all the things to like, just kind of like cause drama on his tribe, leaving without giving anyone an idol, even though I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure, production be like, yeah, we're just gonna have to hide it back anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then, just because the game got too hard for him the second time around, quitting and stuff, because no one wanted to play because his tribe, it just like big villain. Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't say like he's a high tier villain, but he definitely left his mark as a villain.
Yeah, I would not want to play with Colton, to be honest. I'd rather play with a Russell Hantz or a Phillip Shepherd than I would a Colton. Like,
I mean,
I can't handle him.
yeah, he would have been a bit much. I mean, he would go out early though,
Yeah,
so places you at least one up on the
yeah,
rankings.
yeah. But like, if I have to spend like more than a day with him, that's too much. uh, and though to be honest, like going into it, I was for One World, I was like kind of excited. I for him,
Oh
I
yeah,
actually thought like, ooh, I think he's gonna be an interesting villain for the season. Um, but yeah, he kind of just comes whiny and just kind of talks down on people.
yeah.
Like not strategically. I like a good villain who has some good strategy, whether it's great or terrible. Like I like it when that's their kind of villainous kind of mantra. But he just had like this it wasn't strategy for him. It was just I treat myself as
Yeah,
I'm higher than them.
yeah. Also, that whole thing with was it Ben? What's his name? Ben?
Bill.
Basically giving up Bill. I knew
Mhm.
it started with B. Basically giving up immunity just to vote him out. Granted, like the behind the scenes stuff about like, apparently Bill found Colton's idol and Bill tried to
Yeah.
get rid of it, and then there's this whole production thing and Bill kind of got called out. Still, even though all that happened, it was pretty kind of messed up to be like, oh yeah, we're just eliminating you
Yeah.
just cause.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, Colton making his debut here on our channel as well.
I hope he doesn't last long.
Yeah, if he wins this game.
I'm sorry, I just had to bring him because this was like the only time.
Uh-huh. Okay. Next up, we got another one of my favorite villains from kind of middle school Survivor. We got Jean Robert from Survivor China. Yeah, he was just a big buffoon, a poker player who really thought that he knew more than he really did. Like he thought that you could just talk to Todd and be like, "Yeah, I know you're the smart person, but I'm on to you," and then Todd would just kind of do what he wanted.
Yeah, yeah, he was. His ego was kind of his downfall.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's true about a lot of villains. Like, yeah, I'd say like he's a minor example of that. As if we're talking like in the grand scheme of Survivor, he's definitely one of them.
Mhm.
That's up there. But yeah, I think it'll be interesting with this group of people because
Yeah, yeah.
everyone kind of is about that ego life on this tribe.
Exactly. I also think he's kind of one of the more underrated villains. Like you kind of don't talk about him as much because he never returns again. So he's kind of just like, just like, oh yeah, John Robert, I remember him.
I think it's also because he's on one of those seasons where there was, China is like one of those seasons where there's a lot of like big people, like
Mhm.
even the winner, Todd, even though he hasn't been brought back, that's due to like real life stuff. You got Todd, you got Amanda, you got Courtney, you got James. Like
You got
there's a lot of
PG.
PG. You got a lot of like big, people that have come from that season. I'd say the biggest two being, obviously James and Amanda, seeing how they played back-to-back seasons, as well as coming back for like the 10th anniversary season.
Yeah,
pretty
exactly.
iconic. Well,
Yeah.
John it's a little bit.
Yeah. So but I definitely enjoyed him on Sort of China. Like honestly, I love a good villain. Like those are like people who whenever I see like someone's clearly going to be the villain of the season, I'm always kind of like more invested. Like okay, hopefully they make it deep into the game, so we get that kind of conflict for as long as possible. Unfortunately, he's I think the second jury member. Like he goes out a little bit into the merge.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yeah, but we'll see if he can make it to the Survivor Suicide Squad group.
We'll see. Next up, we got Joe Mena from season 35, Heroes versus Villains, or Heroes versus Hustlers versus Healers, or however that season. Anywho, Triple H, the season, not the wrestler. Anywho, so when you hear Healers, you do think a lot of good guys, right? Joe was kind of the mold breaker of that kind of like, I wouldn't say stereotype, but that kind of like expectation that comes with a tribe known as Healers. And he is one of those upfront kind of like villains in the start. He did go home a little early, but he did cause some havoc before his time came up. Like he was definitely one of the big chaos people before they finally nabbed him.
Yeah, I loved his duo with Dr. Mike, the Cocoa Nuts.
Yeah.
that was a good one. Also, I just noticed, but like a lot of these villains in the guy's side are bald. There's a lot of, or like have a receding hairline.
I mean, as you get older, it's like what, 2 out of 3 males. But I feel like I don't know. I think the Lex Luthor thing, like we grew up thinking about Lex Luthor, and then we kind of associate the two together. Maybe. I don't know.
Exactly. Maybe Survivor's just prejudiced towards bald people and give them a villain edit, even if they're not being villains.
And I think we have to really stop and think. I mean, other than Tony, his second time around, which is more of an anti-hero, hero-ish. I guess I have to like think back, like the heroes.
Yeah.
Well.
But we should also say Joe Mena is kind of a Tony 2.0. Like he definitely was cast as someone that was supposed to be like Tony in a lot of ways. I believe even Jeff Probst said that he reminded him a lot of Tony and expected him to go look for idols. Like he literally said that pre-game.
Yeah. Well, we don't have Tony this time around, but we do have some pretty good contestants for Joe to face off against. All right.
Not Joe, not me.
Oh yeah, Mena, not King.
Yep.
Next up, we have Johnny Fairplay, one of the biggest villains in old school Survivor. Not just kind of being like a bit of a fuckboy his first season, but also the whole grandma thing that doesn't necessarily sit well with a lot of people.
Yeah, I think it's hilarious, but some people really some people took that personally. I feel like some people were like very like disturbed almost that he would go out there and do this.
I mean, I get where those people are coming from, but at the same time, it is just a game. But he makes
I think it's
very,
genius.
very good. Do what?
I think it's a genius move, honestly, to do that. I know it, like honestly, it didn't mean much, and in the end, but like I think it was great.
Oh yeah. I mean, it went down in Survivor history. Also, it's one of the things where using the loved one visit to your advantage way before it actually ever happens. That was something that was planning outside of the game way, way, way far in advance. So, and not only that, Johnny Fairplay, he's just one of those kind of like douchey personalities that you love in Survivor. It's like you love to hate. And, so had to bring him, because if it wasn't for his quits in Fans versus Favorites, I definitely feel like he would have came back for Heroes versus Villains.
Yeah, I believe he was still in the running actually, but they ended up saying no because of the quits. So yeah, I mean, I've also heard that there's some talks that that they might still be willing to bring him back again as for like one more redemption kind of arc.
I would like that. I feel like if they do a Fans versus Favorites too, if it's like similar to ours, like since he is in the community, talking about it online and stuff.
Yeah.
He's definitely in the zeitgeist of current Survivor for people who watch, YouTube videos, stuff like that.
Yeah. I just hope that it's not like, Micronesia, because he went out there and he thought that he was allowed to bring his medication and he wasn't. And so that's one of the reasons he quit, was it was causing him a lot of pain.
Yeah. Hopefully,
yeah.
At least this time, like, he would know ahead of time. And they also take health stuff a little bit more seriously in Survivor now than they did back then.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we got good old Phillip Shepherd. Part of the reason I brought him was, for a little chaos with Brandon, as well as like, if we look at Phillip, he caused a lot of trouble on his tribes. He's someone that kind of like, lies a lot about, like, he'll cover up something like, oh, I'm actually very, very strong. It's just like I do an exercise where I don't gain mass, which, I mean, I've heard of that, but I don't know if that's actually practical. He would cause a lot of mayhem on, in the tribe. He would betray, and not to mention just completely blowing up people's games when he, went to tribal council. Just like, oh, she tried to make an alliance with me. She tried to make an alliance with me. Just the whole thing with Francesca.
And his worst crime that he committed overall is wearing those pink underwear.
Yeah. Yeah. Can't forget that.
Yeah, it's that ingrained in my brain.
Oh yeah, thank you for reminding me.
Yep. So yeah, Phillip, honestly, he's done pretty good on our channel. He's made it, to the merge. I think he's played like twice, and he's made it there both times. So we'll see if he can, keep it up.
Yeah. Also another reason, it's been a while since we've seen Phillip, so it was like, come on over.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, moving on to the next one. The original villain of Survivor, the very first one, the one that started the villains of Survivor. We got Richard Hatch.
Yeah, I don't think Survivor would have lasted long without Richard Hatch making that first season what it was.
Yeah, I think Jeff Probst would have been right. He said that he thinks Survivor had 3 seasons in it, and it did if Richard Hatch didn't do what Richard Hatch did.
He established the meta, especially for like early school Survivor.
Yeah, because otherwise it would have been just like what Borneo was. It was just people camping, and then they would have to vote someone out who they just would all vote randomly, and hopefully you weren't the one. But Richard showed that, hey, if we actually just strategize, we can get to the ends in a more, efficient way.
So definitely someone where, all things considered, should have been brought back for Heroes versus Villains. I know there was like controversy between him and Sue, but I feel like,
I mean, this is another weird thing, because I remember when they were doing the like promo stuff for Heroes versus Villains, he was someone that was doing a lot of these interviews and stuff about the 10 years of Survivor. Like they had him come in with like Parvati, Russell, and Colby and James and all this stuff. And for some reason, Richard is also there.
Yeah, he's someone where he's undoubtedly, a part of Survivor history. Even if we take away the fact that he won his first season, like, he's still, like a very impactful player.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it's another thing though, like who are you replacing him with? Because I think you probably would replace him with someone like, I know we like him now, but like I think Tyson probably doesn't make the cuts. I don't know if his token teams would have compared, to Richard Hatch. Because like I think Tyson. I think the more Tyson played, the more like he became a bigger deal.
Maybe
Randy was a big deal back then. Like people they thought that Randy was big.
True, but if we look at the same kind of archetype where it's like older, heavyset guy, they kind of. Like if we were trying to make the cast, with different types and stuff, I wouldn't say they fall into that. On paper, they kind of fall into the same category. If we're looking at that demographic, two different personalities.
Yeah.
But like at the core, if we're looking at like villains and that age range and stuff, I feel like he could have definitely taken over Randy's position, even though Randy was obviously a more recent player.
Yeah. Well, I know also Jeff was excited for Randy in Heroes vs. Villains because he was just like, he's a wedding videographer who hates love. Like that was his like slogan for Randy. But I mean, it was a great cast for Heroes vs. Villains, so it's like who gets cut there? It would have been kind of tough.
Fair.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which,
we got someone who is no stranger to our Brant steals. Honestly, he's been kind of coming into his own the more he's been playing, and that is Russell Hantz.
I know he's the legend, like the biggest villain in Survivor history.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's very, very hard to dispute it.
I felt like I had to bring him for this, honestly. Like I literally was just like, I can't not bring him.
No, I feel the same way about someone that's on the Villainesses tribe, where he just made a huge splash. He referred to people as dumb bitches, would burn people's property, blindside people, and kind of have like a mob mentality when it came to taking out people, stuff like that. Played mind game stuff, like he's like iconic.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about him is, so in his Samoa game, he actually had a lot of people liking him at first. Like he had his entire tribe like him. He was almost like Brian Heidick in a sense, where like clearly he was the villain, but like people were still like listening to him and obeying him and kind of like, like they didn't want to turn on him for some reason.
Well, I mean, because they also, with his backstory, quote unquote, they think, oh, this dude's a first responder stuff. You tell them that's the frame they're going to think you as, for as long as they know you until you reveal otherwise.
Yeah, and then obviously when it gets to like the merge area, like they have to kind of fight from the bottom, so they're doing whatever they can to try to get out of that, which ends up working. But obviously that side that had a bunch of people in the merge now don't like him because he's the reason that they lost. So he ends up kind of losing there, but then it's weird because him coming back for Heroes versus Villains 2 weeks later is both a blessing and a curse. A blessing in the sense they don't know who he is since he's a villain, so he can kind of still play a villain kind of game, and they don't know that yet. But at the same time, it's a curse because his head was still in the game, so he kind of entered Heroes vs. Villains still in the game on day one. and was already playing him as if he was at the merge.
I feel like it was more of an advantage, like curse outside the game, because it takes a toll on your body, like and stuff. But like honestly, I feel like that gets him kind of into it faster and sooner. Now, granted, it's a bit different because, in the beginning of that season, the hero tribe was kind of losing a lot. So Russell didn't really have to go to tribal council until, for the Randy elimination. But even then, that was kind of like trimming the fat, no body shaming or anything, just like, straight up. Randy was like dead weight on that tribe.
Yeah.
So, like he didn't really have to start playing the game until later. However, going into it in that mindset, when people are already starting to warm up to it, you're already there.
Yeah, because I really think for a lot of players, it takes at least 3 tribal councils before a lot of people's game minds are like actually like thinking about all this stuff. Like a lot of people just, kind of think, oh, let's just do some easy votes at the beginning, and then we can start thinking about actual end game. But for someone who was in all those end game and then go straight into another game, they're not gonna want to just be messing around.
Yeah. So yeah.
So yeah, that's the Villains tribe.
Bros. All right, now the Villainesses.
Yes. Okay, starting off with one of the big ones right here, we got Abby Maria. Now it's another one of these things. I don't think she's a bad person. I think that her accent does have a bit of a thing to do with it. It can definitely sound harsher, the things she says, than I think what is intended for her to be saying.
Well, I mean, in different cultures, and this isn't like in different cultures, some cultures are very more upfront than others. And I think that could have been part of it, as well as like with Abby Maria. I think she did kind of have the mentality of like the world is against her sometimes, and like not defending it, but like she definitely has like mean girl tendencies.
Yeah. I mean, she does say though at the beginning, second chance, that villains have more fun. So
yeah.
So she was having fun out there.
Yeah, I feel she's a must on any villain season. Like if you make the heroes versus villains thing or an all villains thing, Abby Maria has to be on there.
Yeah, a must.
That's like a staple. I would have questioned you. I made my list first, but I knew you were going to bring Abby Maria.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was wondering, should I make my list first or should I let you do it? Because I was like, I want to make sure like a few certain people made the list, and she was one of the people I wanted to make sure was on here.
Yeah, I had faith you would bring her. So yeah.
Nice. Okay, next up, someone from Vanuatu. So one of my seasons I like to pull from every now and then. We got Amy Cusack, the leader of the Women's Alliance, the dominant Women's Alliance, also the first Women's Alliance to just completely fold on itself. But honestly, like it was because they took out Amy at like almost the beginning of the destruction of the alliance. Like Amy really wanted to make sure that a woman won this season. Like that was her goal. and Chris Doherty put a foil into that.
Yeah, he did. I feel like sometimes being the leader of something like that does put a big target on your back, as we see time and time again. And if a tribe or like if you have there comes a point where it's like, oh crap, this person's a leader, oh crap, this person is playing the game pretty hard, you got to think you have to cut them at some point, and that's what happened to her. Good villain for that season.
Because I mean she took out one of her own alliance members because they literally were just like, hey, do you want to teach these guys how to open up the coconuts like our special way or whatever, and she was like, no. and then she just started getting really mad at her and said, "Okay, you're out of here now."
Cold. Very
Yeah.
cold.
Yeah. Yeah, and I wanted her to do better in fans versus favorites. But ends up going just a little shy there. But let's see if she can do good on this season.
We will see. We will see.
Yeah. Next up, another person that I brought up. I brought a lot of A's for the Villainesses, I guess. We got Angelina Keeley, one of my favorite villains from Modern Survivor. I would go as far as to say she's the best modern villain of Survivor. I really think she's great.
I definitely think. I feel like she's more of a. I wouldn't say a secondary villain. She's definitely a villain. In the sense where, the whole jacket thing. That's cold in the sense of like not just like, oh, she was cold, but like straight up like rubbing salt in the wound. She was also kind of demanding. You didn't want to mess with her.
Yeah, I also thought it was so funny that she tried to like rig a tribal so that it looked like she got a successful idol play. Remember that she got an idol and was like, okay, let's try to get votes onto me so it looks good to the jury.
Yeah.
Like she just straight up said that to Mike and Nick. Yeah, I mean, I think every time she just talks. And like I think she was similar in the Abby Maria way. I don't think she's a bad person, but like everything she said just sounded bad. Like it just sounded like it was coming off a bad way and was demeaning to someone or putting someone down.
She's a little bit of a Karen. Like, she doesn't look like a Karen, but she has Karen tendencies. And when I was making my list, I was thinking of like Survivor contestants that could be potential Karens just to have like that thing. But like personality wise, Angelina has those tendencies, like, making the list of like different things to offer. I mean, I would say that's like one of her redeeming moments. If there was, I don't, like you said, not a bad person, but like one of her hero moments, or doesn't make her a hardcore villain, was sitting out for the tribe to get more resources.
Yeah, but man, she did not let you live that one down. She every episode, I believe, after that, she would sneak that in somewhere, like just trying to keep being like, hey, look at this. And also the first jury member, when they know that she knows Elizabeth is going home, she literally tries to curry favor right away. Like clearly that was her strategy, was I'm going to talk to everyone who's going to go home and try to make them like me before they leave. And it got found out so fast.
It's not a bad strategy. It's just you got to be genuine about it, and wasn't executed as well as she would have hoped.
Yeah, I mean, it just didn't make sense. Angelina and Elizabeth had like not talked like at all. Like they were not like buddies or anything.
Oh well, let's see if she can even make it that far. I mean, there's a lot of there. I don't know, like with this. I mean, we have like one person that straight up is going to stir the pot so much, but like everyone else is also going to contribute to stirring up the pot.
I expect no one to get along. like I really just who gets along in this group? Like there's very few connections.
I'd say it's tricky. We do have very, very different people on this drive.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, we got Gabby, also from David versus Goliath. Now, part of the reason I brought her, it's she does look very, very nice. She, you see her in the beginning, and she's crying, she gets upset, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But the reason she's here is for betraying her closest ally and the entire David tribe that was very, very, trying to come together to make it further in the game and stuff like that. It was like David versus Goliath. And, she was like, no, traitor. But you can't fault her for it, but at the same time, it's just one of those narrative things where she she made moves against her alliance, and so that earns her a spot.
I definitely think out of everyone here, she's the least villain of all of them. Like, I think, because even that moment where she decides to vote out Christian, she's like crying about it. Like, she almost doesn't want to. She just knows Christian wins if he gets to the end. So we can't let him get to the end. I definitely think I think she should have waited like 2 more tribals. I will say I think she should have waited 2 more tribals, but she should have done it. It should have. She should definitely do it.
Well, I think because she did it, even though Christian was like so helpful and stuff, it just earns her a spot in our little Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Just being on here, like she did one wrong bad thing. And here she is.
Yeah. If anyone here, I think, is going to get the hero edit, I think it's Gabby. I think Gabby's got the potential underdog hero edits.
Potentially, yeah.
Oh, I should also, I meant to bring this up actually at the beginning, but recently in our Brant Steals, you want to know who the last woman to win our Brant Steal was?
Oh no, who?
Kathy Vavrick O'Brien.
Oh snap!
We've had 10 guys in a row win.
How many?
10.
Oh no! Oh
yeah.
No, we're not supposed to. Our channel was supposed to be different than actual Survivor.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened, but somehow guys are still winning. So I want to put that out because I want this villainous tribe to be rooted for more than any other tribe we've ever had.
That was a while ago too. That was like season 1 of series 2.
Yeah, that was like the middle of that season.
Dang, and we've had some great females come through here too.
Yeah, we've had a lot of them just barely lose. So yeah, it's very unfortunate that just somehow it's like because I have my Brant Steele winners list and everything, and I keep adding to it, and I just noticed like, wait a second, when was the last girl to win? So hopefully we change things with this season.
We'll see.
If not, I'm sorry.
I mean, there's nothing we can do about something that's randomized,
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we're just kind of at Brant Steele's disposal here. So yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, well, with that being said, now we can get back to it. Okay, let's go to this person from Survivor Amazon. We got Heidi Strobel, who had also some kind of mean girl tendencies from that season. Kind of her and Jenna Maraska were, kind of, some drama queens, if you will. They would always get really upset anytime they weren't in the right, and if they were in the right, they would kind of gloat about it. But yeah, Heidi's been on the channel before. I believe she's made the merge.
Yeah. Wow. Like this was way back. Like series 2, or not series 2, season 2.
Yeah.
So like a year ago, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, we've been doing this for so long now.
I know. It's gonna be so weird doing like Survivor reviews again.
I know, right? Yeah, actually having to come on after the the Survivor show and talk about it.
I know.
Yeah, so yeah, Heidi. I liked her on Amazon. I was rooting for her. A school teacher who just kind of didn't seem super smart.
Even though like she had the highest IQ out there, that was like an interesting little fact.
Exactly. Yeah, I like that Jeff Probst had to point that out.
Well, I mean, when it comes to like reality TV, like you're presented with an archetype, like even in casting, because I know someone who has been through that casting process. For what she told me, like, depending on like what they're looking for that season, you might, even if like you have like a very prominent like trait, they might, change it up from like the pool to a different pool. Like she was saying, like one, it was like the tomboyish one, and then the next one, it was like internet famous thing, or like, so like in that one, she was just like, the pretty blonde girl.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next up, we got Chittya Taylor from Cagayan. Now, I feel like she's someone that just has to come up because Summer Brandon just blows up everything. Just like, first trouble, she lasted way longer than she should have. And that's just because of like all the craziness she did. Also, she's one of those like, very, very early boots where you're just baffled with how do they stay, even though like she wasn't the best at challenges, but like for drama and stuff, so much drama, in fact, that the Simpsons used that moment. They parodied that moment in The Simpsons.
Which is crazy for a pre-merge moment to be that memorable. Like, honestly, like everyone remembers the merge, but like the pre-merge stuff are just like, oh yeah, that happens.
Yeah, she's hard to freaking forget because of all that.
Yeah. Well, what's also crazy is like they still almost chose her over Spencer. Like no joke, Spencer almost went home just because Chittya was, I mean, she was a clear, like they could have easily, like she was a shield, like she really is kind of a shield at that point.
A little bit. So there are no tribe swaps here, and so like she better bring it this time because this tribe does not mess around. But then again, we have some people that on this tribe that have sit out a lot or not done really well at challenges, and we'll get to one of them in a sec. But
true.
For the time being.
Yeah, but here's someone who is good at challenges. We got Missy Bird from Island of the Idols. And so clearly there's some of the stuff also that happened with Dan with her as well, where she kind of sided with him. But the thing is, like, it really was, she was so into the game at that point that I think she just wasn't thinking, in that aspect. She was thinking like, well, I need to take this person out because they're a big threat to me, whereas Dan's not a big threat to me. So she was, thinking in that regard. But like, besides all of that, she still kind of is, gets this villain edited by talking down to Karishma, clearly just trying to think that, oh, she's just going to follow me, even though I've kind of treated her not great.
She was pretty cold, like, and she was someone that had a lot of potential on that season too. Like, if you remember in our, when we were thinking, oh, who's going to get furthest, she was in my top 3.
Didn't she get picked like second or third for one of us?
It was either second or third for me, because I was like, oh yeah, being so young and army vet stuff. But she played the game cold for when she was there, and the Dan thing is definitely like a controversy that also gives her a little bit of that villain status, but I feel like that's another reason why they should bring her back, so she can have that like little redemption and put that behind.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, next up, we have someone that should have been on Heroes versus Villains on the Villain Tribe, but she, for every reason, she was on standby. Natalie Bolton. She was part of that, Black Widow alliance in Micronesia, and she's someone where when you're flossing pretending to floss your teeth with, your victims and stuff like that, like, little monologue like that. It's pretty villainess.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think definitely that earns her a spot here.
Yeah. I would have preferred her over Daniel De Lorenzo, to be honest. I think that they have a similar archetype, and I think Natalie Bolton's honestly, was just a bigger character.
Better than Danny. Like Danny, I didn't even think, I didn't even think Danny was a villain in her original season.
She really wasn't. I mean, she was kind of. I guess Aris was kind of more of the hero and she gets the end with Aris, so I guess like that's really kind of the only connection to her, like them trying to turn her as the villain was she was in Aris's and Terry's way.
I don't know. Even then, still, it's like because with Aris and Terry, like I don't even see them as antagonists. I just see them as two competitors, just kind of like at odds ends. Like, depending on who you're rooting for, one could be considered the antagonist to the other. But Natalie should have been on that season. She shouldn't have been a standby. So correcting that wrong here.
Yeah. Also, back in series 1, she had a pretty decent run on her channel. She was on like 2 or 3 of our seasons, making it decently far,
racking up quite a bit of votes on the first season. Fan first favorites, our fan first favorites. So yeah, we'll see how she does this time in series 2.
Actually, looking forward.
Now next up, we got Sandra Diaz Twine. And I felt like, I may not be the biggest fan of Sandra, but if we're looking at biggest villains, one, she clapped back at Russell, which, that's pretty big. Also, blindsiding her biggest ally in her original season. Also having a don't mess with me mentality through a lot of it. Also getting rid of Tyson. Also burning Russell Hance's hat. Like these are things that merit villains. Also, like if you didn't think she was a villain from her first time out, she established it in the very first episode of Hero vs. Villains, taking off Sugar's bra. So, playing dirty.
That's what I was going to say is she's another one of these people who I think as she played, she became more of a villain, like the more she played. Like I wouldn't consider her too much of a villain in her first season. Like she had moments that were like, maybe standoffish or anything, but like I wouldn't consider those villain like fully.
Like one of the moments I remember best of her from that season is like, I can get loud too. Going against Fairplay, but that's like because Fairplay was the biggest villain in that thing.
She almost kind of got more of a hero edit in that regard. Like it seemed like she was being a villain to the villains. Like she was like giving them a taste of their own medicine. Like that's I think that was the only time she was really doing that kind of stuff. So, but then obviously in Heroes vs. Villains, she, as you said, established it. Like they literally were like, I didn't think Sandra was that big of a villain, but then she, took off Sugar's bra and.
And then also the ego after that led to her downfall in so many seasons, or in both the seasons afterwards. Like because.
She keeps saying she's the queen, and so I mean, she had a target now. Like,
and then she quits. She's the only quit. And I know it's a very, very debatable thing whether it was actually a quit or not for Winners at War. But she's the only person who was like, "Oh, I'm the queen," and then just kind of goes out like that. It's just I kind of think that just emphasizes her villainesses. Villainesses. Villainicity.
I don't know. I just put villainess tribe here because I wasn't sure, like, because it feels weird to say villainesses.
Anemone. All right. But yeah, so she's on this tribe. And last, you might think, wait, wasn't she on the hero tribe? Yes, she was. But, you know, I'm on this Facebook group of Survivor people, and they were like, oh, what's one of the moments of Survivor that cringes you the most, or that always throws you in arms? Something on that, something on the lines of that. And I was like, Danny winning over Stephanie. And then, there were some comments where it was like, yeah, but Stephanie was such like a bully that season, stuff like that. I'm like, yeah, she played a bit more cutthroat and stuff. But, if we're looking at both seasons, she was definitely a bit more of a villain of that season than anything else.
Yeah.
Which is like when I rewatched everything and then I was like watching Heroes versus Villains, I'm like, she was on the Heroes tribe. The thing that made her a hero was definitely lasting as long as she did the first time. That's part of her charm and was, being the sole survivor from that team. And, never giving up despite everything. But, I feel like she's one of the people that could have easily have been on the villain tribe because of how she played over Guatemala.
I just let you know you sound really quiet right now.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. As you were talking, you just suddenly got like really quiet.
Or maybe Brand or maybe Zoom was like, wait, Ryan is talking bad about Stephanie? This kid.
Yeah.
I mean, because I enjoy her, and part of the reason I like her is because she got cutthroat in Guatemala. I would like Guatemala a lot more if she would have won that season. But, that didn't happen. I have to live with it. Or at the very least, wait until I can jump into a similar timeline where she wins that season over Danny Boatwright. But yeah, anywho, maybe this might, she doesn't really do too good on our brand deal. So like maybe this is the one.
Yeah, she'll finally be able to make it to the merge.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so that's our two tribes. Who are you rooting for on the villains tribe?
Out of the guys, it's a mixture between Brad Culpepper and, honestly, I want Brad to win. You brought him, and I'm like, he's one of my favorite, modern day players. I would like Brad to win. Out of the people I brought, probably Joe, because Johnny's already won. Phillip, though he's entertaining, he's not one of my favorites. And the other two are, I would want them to be an actual winner on our France deal. So for me, it's Brad and Joe Mena.
Got it. And yet again, I should also say it still hasn't fixed itself, the audio for you.
What? This is close.
Yeah, I don't know if it's that. Maybe you might need to leave and then come back.
All right. Bye, guys.
Okay, yeah, there he goes. Okay, then I guess I'll just talk about who I'm rooting for. I really want to see John Robert make it to the merge. I'm definitely rooting for him. Ace Gordon is another person, like he's been on our channel before and hasn't done great. But I'm hoping that those two can really kind of come in and become staples.
All right.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Zoom.
Yeah.
Stop fucking.
I know, right? I was just telling everyone that I'm rooting for, on my side, Jean Robert and Ace Gordon.
Really?
I want the people who are kind of lesser known to kind of step up here.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah. But and then also for yours though, I want Johnny Fairplay to make it far.
I would like him to get far. I don't want him to win because he already won. But yeah.
I want him to, if he can make a finale, I'd be happy.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Villainesses tribe. Who are you rooting for?
For me, it's Stephanie. Stephanie is my number one choice. I would say that a close second is Nat, or I wouldn't say a close second. A second is Natalie. And from your peeps, I would like to see Angelina do well. You know.
Yeah, Angelina's the one from my side that I wanted to see do well.
Yeah.
Natalie is someone who I want on your side to make it far.
Yeah. All right. You ready to do this thing?
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's get to the alliances. So our first alliances are Brandon Hans, Johnny Fairplay, Phillip Shepherd, and Russell Hans.
That's very interesting on so many levels.
Yeah.
Brandon and Phillip in an alliance together.
We got the Hanses together.
The Hanses together. Like, I
and
was
then
wondering,
Johnny Fairplay.
He's just in the mix. He's like, I'm not sure how this is going to go down, but I'm going to be in it.
He wants to see it. He wants to see it unfold.
Up close and personal.
Yeah. And then all the other alliances, Brad Culpepper, Jean Robert, and Joe Mena.
Interesting.
So Ace Gordon is out of the loop here, as well as one other person, right?
Colton's not in it.
Colton.
And there's one more.
Ace Colton and someone else. I can't think of.
It's one of your peeps, because I have 4 of mine on here. And Richard
Hatch, right?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's Richard Hatch. Okay, and then on the Villainesses tribe, we got Amy, Gabby, and Chittya forming a little alliance here, as well as Abby, Maria, Angelina, and Heidi.
All right. Interesting. We'll see how that all plays out with them if they have to go to tribal.
Yeah.
Because I can see these going any number of ways.
Could we get another rock draw? We like to get some pre-merge rock draws nowadays.
Rock draws, man.
Yeah. Okay. Reward challenge. The Villains tribe win rewards. They win flints.
Nice.
But the Villainesses tribe wins immunity.
Way to go, Stephanie.
Yeah. And Russell Hands has found the idol.
Of course.
And Natalie Bolton has found the idol.
Nice. Very nice.
As well as the behavior of Heidi is becoming appreciated around camp. Put it in the work.
I wonder if that's because she's doing so good or she's doing so bad, being, bad as in like villainy.
Yeah. They respect people who are more villains. Okay,
pretty much, I guess.
So who's going home here?
Might be someone from that smaller alliance. Like when you have like a 4, usually they're pretty tight and no one really goes home from that 4. Yeah. When you have so it's a little tricky. I'm going to say, just because they're kind of tribal fodder, I'm going to say Colton.
I'm going to say Colton too, because I'm more willing it into the world, honestly.
Do what?
Oh, I said I was more willing it into the world than anything.
Yeah.
First vote goes to Phillip. Second vote goes to Phillip. Third vote goes to Phillip. Fourth vote goes to Richard. Fifth vote goes to Richard. Sixth vote goes to Phillip. Seventh vote goes to Richard. Eighth vote goes to Richard. Ninth vote goes to Phillip. 10th vote and player leaving is Phillip.
Wow.
The first beats.
I was a little surprised. I'm guessing the Hans Alliance is getting turned on.
Yeah, that group of 4 that we were saying are usually safe, they got turned on.
Dang.
So not looking good for Johnny, Brandon, or Russell. Maybe this was actually Brandon's plan all along, was to make this foursome and then get people to vote Phillip off.
I wouldn't put it behind him.
Yeah.
Or past him.
Okay. Well, there goes our first boots. Okay, now it's even up here.
Yeah.
So we got 4 alliances of 3 right now. Interesting. And the villain's tribe win immunity. They receive a tarp.
Oh wait, that was immune?
Yeah. No
Gotcha.
reward here.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
this is now a medium strength alliance.
who would have thought that Phillip was the glue holding this together?
I know, right? It's stealth or us,
All right.
Okay, nothing's going on over on this tribe, so we're just going in. We're just gonna figure it out.
Going blind.
Someone's going home. Who gonna be? I don't know.
I might say Gabby because she's the least villain out of everyone here.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't really have maybe Sandra because she's a target. Honestly, anyone can go home here. I don't see there's nothing to tell us exactly who. Oh, but Natalie plays the villainous tribe idol.
So it's not Natalie, at least.
At least not Natalie. First vote goes to Natalie, does not count. Second vote goes to Natalie, does not count. Third vote goes to Missy. Fourth vote goes to Missy. Fifth vote goes to Angelina. Sixth vote goes to Missy. Seventh vote goes to Angelina. Eighth vote goes to Angelina. Ninth vote goes to Angelina. 10th and final vote goes to Missy. We are tied. 4 votes Angelina, 4 votes Missy.
Yep, and 2 of them were canceled out. So these 3 target tribals, when there's a revote, it's always tricky.
Yeah,
you never know how it's gonna lie.
Yeah, honestly, like those 2 votes could end up splitting here, and create the rock scenario, or they just all team up on one person and.
Or perhaps the Natalie votes were both from Missy and Angelina. You never know.
True. Okay. First vote goes to Missy. Second vote goes to Angelina. Third vote goes to Angelina. Fourth vote goes to Angelina. Fifth vote goes to Missy. Sixth vote goes to Missy. 7th vote goes to Missy.
Is it?
8th vote goes to Missy.
Well,
I'd rather have Angelina stay here. So
fair enough. Yeah.
So did anyone?
So
okay. So it was Sandra and Stephanie voted for Natalie, and they both switched it to Missy.
Okay. So they're kind of ish in the numbers.
Yeah. So Abby voted for Missy, Amy voted for Angelina, Angelina voted for Missy, Gabby voted for Angelina, Heidi voted for Missy, Chittya voted for Angelina, Missy voted for Angelina, Natalie voted for Missy, and then they changed.
All right.
Yeah. Okay, let's proceed to alliances. Okay, this one is a little stronger than this one. See if that will matter. And immunity. The villain's tribe wins immunity. They receive sugar, coffee, a week's worth of rice, and the contestants' luxury items.
That's a little too good, TBH.
Yeah, that's a loss.
Coffee alone.
Yeah. Brandon and Brad bond slightly. Probably because they have the first 3 letters of the name is the same.
Probably. probably. Or maybe because they don't see themselves as villains.
Yeah. We also have Abby Maria finding an idol.
That is dangerous.
Yeah. And an alliance dissolves between Amy, Gabby, and Chittya.
It might probably for the best, because I feel like since a couple of them voted for Angelina's still here, it's probably best to dissolve it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna actually say it's gonna be Amy.
You know what? I think Chittya's craziness has been happening a lot around camp, and that's the reason the alliance dissolved. Was like they were like, okay, we can't trust this crazy in our alliance anymore. So I'm gonna say Chittya.
Only one way to find out.
First vote goes to Natalie. Second vote goes to Sandra. Third vote goes to Natalie. Fourth vote goes to Natalie. Fifth vote goes to Natalie. Sixth vote goes to Sandra. This is brutal. Seventh vote and player leaving is Natalie. Wow.
No. Who was the person that voted with Natalie?
It was Amy.
Amy.
Yeah, Amy and Natalie.
Okay. All right. So Amy has her back against the wall.
Yeah, not looking good for her now. Hopefully they can win an immunity though. Two immunity losses is never good because that's you start getting a mentality of that you're losing a lot, and it's hard to get that back in the track.
Especially since in this season there's a challenge where each tribe has to go to tribal council, so like you're guaranteed to also lose another person no matter what.
Exactly.
So
let's see who wins reward. At least the Villainesses tribe wins rewards. We get 2 selected items from a Sears catalog.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Wait, is Sears even around still?
No, right? They went out of business. I feel like I remember them going. I remember our Sears for up here. It went out of business like I don't know 5 or 6 years ago.
Probably. I mean, I never frequent Sears, so
I'm
not a Sears.
They might still be around, but like on limited capacity. But I definitely think they got rid of a lot of their stores.
Probably.
And the Sears catalog helps them win immunity.
All right.
Keep them around a little bit longer. And Brad and Ace bond slightly. Brad in his social game.
Nice. Always like it when the people I root for are doing good.
Yeah. And the behavior of Angelina is rubbing the tribe the wrong way. Is she being too nice? Is this just the opposite?
She's just thinking of like for all the like comfort items, like, all right, we're gonna make a schedule. Now we don't have any watches or anything, so we're gonna do it by the position of the sun. I have a sundial here, and just like over. All right, so out of the bros, I think it might either be Johnny or one of the Hanses.
I'm still gonna will Colton going home here into the world.
I think I'll compromise and say Brandon.
Okay. Russell does not play the idol. First vote goes to Joe. Second vote goes to Colton.
All right.
Third vote goes to Joe. Fourth vote goes to Joe. Fifth vote goes to Ace.
Where did you come from?
Sixth vote goes to Colton. Seventh vote goes to Ace. Eighth vote goes to Colton. Ninth vote goes to Ace. We are tied in a 3-3-3 vote.
We keep having these 3 target people. This is so we'll see how this turns out.
Yeah. Yeah. Who do you think is going to get the votes turned on them here?
I feel like if this was actual Survivor, I think they would get rid of Colton. No one wants to go to Rocks for Colton.
Yeah, I think Colton's the right move here. I think just take him out, because I think Joe and Ace actually have some worth to the tribe in terms of mentality and strength.
Yeah.
First vote goes to Colton. Second vote goes to Ace. Third vote goes to Colton. Fourth vote goes to Ace. Fifth vote goes to Ace.
No, don't do this.
Sixth vote and player leaving is Ace. Oh my god. How does he always go so early on our brand steals?
That is not an ideal situation.
Yeah, so Richard Hatch switched it over to Ace. Joe originally voted for Colton. Colton voted for Joe. And Ace voted for Joe.
Well, that is unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of was just the how the votes lied kind of caused it. Like even though Richards flipped onto him, it actually kind of didn't matter in terms of where the votes were going. So yeah, unfortunate. Yeah. And everything was there. Okay, reward challenge. The Villains Tribe win rewards. They win a trip to a swimming hole and a feast of chocolates.
Ooh. Sounds beautiful.
And they win immunity off of that.
Power of chocolate.
Yep. But Brad isolates himself from the rest of the tribe. His social game has gone away.
Maybe he had to take a break,
Yeah. He had to take a Brad day.
Brad day.
And their other alliance dissolves.
Oh, well.
So they're going into tribal with no alliances and nothing else that's happened. I'm going to say Angelina.
I might say Heidi.
I think Angelina's been getting, she had some flack on the few tribals that she's gone to, and now her alliance that she was super strong just suddenly dissolves.
I can see that. I don't know. There's something about Angelina. I think she's going to survive this one.
I really want her to. I think she's great. First vote goes to Stephanie.
No.
Second vote goes to Chittya. Third vote goes to Chittya. Fourth vote goes to Chittya. Fifth vote goes to Stephanie. Sixth vote goes to Stephanie.
Don't do this to me.
Seventh vote goes to Stephanie.
Oh, no.
Eighth vote and player leaving is Stephanie.
Why?
She just can't do good on our brand steals. She is cursed. So Abby voted for Chittya, Amy voted for Stephanie, Angelina voted for Chittya, Gabby voted for Stephanie, Heidi voted for Stephanie, Chittya voted for Stephanie, Sandra voted for Stephanie, and Stephanie voted for Chittya. So that's Abby, Angelina are on the outs. Ryan is so mad. He's so mad. Hey, I mean, episode 5, she got 5 episodes in.
That's nothing.
It's something. She was there.
Barely.
Okay. Let's just go to the immunity challenge. Joe and Gabby win individual immunities.
Okay.
And reward challenge. The Villainous Tribe win reward. They win steak, sausages, vegetables, condiments, and wine for reward. I believe this means they go to tribal first so they can eat all this at tribal during the thing.
That they do.
Yeah.
That they do.
Okay. Brad and Russell have a minor fight.
Ooh.
Brad is getting on people's nerves.
Yeah. It might be his time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Also, Russell as an idol.
Yeah, true.
Not a good time to be Brad.
Yeah. And Chittya and Amy have a minor fight. So I think it's either Amy or Chittya.
I think hopefully Chittya, because she should have gone home.
Yeah.
So upset.
First vote goes to Amy. Second vote goes to Abby. Third vote goes to Abby. Fourth vote goes to Amy. Fifth vote goes to Amy. And sixth vote and player leaving is Amy. So Amy and Gabby on the outs.
Freaking Tia's still here.
Yeah. Man. Okay, and then here on the Villains Tribe.
I hate to say it, but I think it might be Brad.
Yeah, I think either the votes are going to go his way or Russell's going to play his idol and he goes home.
Yeah.
Russell does not play the Villains Tribe idol. So it will not be an idol. First vote goes to Richard. Second vote goes to Colton. Third vote goes to Richard. Fourth vote goes to Brandon. Fifth vote goes to Brandon. Sixth vote goes to Colton.
Come on, Colton, go home.
Seventh vote goes to Richard.
Don't.
Eighth vote goes to we are tied. 3-3-2.
Right. Let's do the right thing.
Take out Colton. Don't take out the original villain in the pre-merge.
Brand Seal doesn't care, but come on.
First vote goes to Richard. Second vote goes to Richard. Third vote goes to Colton. Fourth vote goes to Richard. Fifth vote goes to Colton. Sixth vote, and player leaving is Richard Hatch.
Who is choosing to keep Colton?
Yeah, they do not want. So Brad voted for Colton. Brandon voted for Richard. Colton voted for Brandon. John Robert voted for Colton. Joe voted for Colton, but changed to Richard.
Freaking Joe.
Yeah. Johnny voted for Richard. Richard voted for Brandon, and Russell voted for Richard.
Well, fudge.
Yeah. This is definitely now the longest Colton's been on a season.
Yeah. Final 13.
Yeah.
Actually, I think this is where he went off. Wasn't he? Yeah, because he was, well, I mean, if we're looking at people that were eliminated, this is the longest in sense of like 7 people have gone home. But I think he was the 6th person eliminated in One World.
Got it.
So it depends on how you look at it.
Yeah. Let's see who wins reward. The Villains Tribe win reward. They win a trip to a waterfall with a feast. They are winning like all these rewards. Like they are.
It might be the 3. It might be just villains, D7 and 3 villainesses.
Yeah,
might happen.
And the Villains Tribe win immunity.
This is not good.
Yeah, I believe also this is the episode right before the jury phase starts. So this is the last person before they hit jury.
Yep.
The behavior of Johnny Fairplay is rubbing the tribe the wrong way.
Oh, Johnny.
Heidi and Gabby have a major fight. So I think it's either Heidi or Gabby.
Honest, I don't know. I would prefer neither of them because I feel like, well, I kind of want Gabby to make it a little bit further because maybe the redemption arc. Heidi, maybe because she's blonde. We'll see.
Yeah.
Can we get some votes on Chittya?
First vote goes to Angelina. Second vote goes to Angelina. Third vote goes to Chittya.
Come on, this is the time.
Fourth vote goes to Angelina.
Come on.
Fifth vote and player leaving is Angelina.
What?
Are you kidding me?
Why?
Oh my god.
Why?
This is awful. Just straight up everyone voted out for Angelina.
Dang it.
They didn't want her to make jury phase, I guess.
No. God,
Yeah.
how do we have Chittya, Brandon, and Colton still in this game?
Yeah, the crazies are still here.
Oh.
Yeah.
Watch that be our final three.
That would be ridiculous. I kind of want that now. Like, that would be a crazy final three.
Yeah. All right.
The Villainous tribe win reward. They win a trip to another island where there's a coffee bar, cookies, croissants, and brownies.
All right. Coffee is power. So
can they use that to win immunity? They do.
All right.
That's
all
good.
right.
Keep them around a little bit more. And Brad and Russell bond slightly now. They're getting back into good graces.
Okay. So this is where Colton goes home, right?
It better be.
This is where Colton goes home, right?
Let's get Colton out of here. Russell does not play the idol. First vote goes to Jean Robert. Second vote goes to Johnny Fairplay. Third vote goes to Jean Robert. Fourth vote goes to Jean Robert.
Bye, Jean Robert.
Fifth vote goes to Johnny Fairplay. Sixth vote goes to Johnny Fairplay.
Oh, come on, not him.
Seventh player league is Johnny
Oh my
Fairplay.
god.
Oh, this is brutal.
I know.
So that's the Hanses and Johnny Fairplay cannot get Brad Culpepper to join.
Dang. So this might be the end for the Hanses. If we can just get Brandon out, at least there's one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, the
All
Hanses. Yeah, reward challenge. And the Villains tribe win reward. This is the Outback Steakhouse reward. Look at them.
All right.
But the Villainous tribe wins immunity.
Which means we'll be going into the merge with a 5-5 split.
Yeah, that's good. And Joe isolates himself from the rest of the tribe.
Joe, it better be just not you, too.
Chittya also isolates herself from the rest of the tribe. Okay, so Russell does not play the idol.
Come on, Colton or Brandon. Colton or Brandon.
Yeah. First vote goes to Jean Robert. I don't want him to go home, though. Like, I really want him to make the merge.
I think Jean Robert is fine.
Second vote goes to Jean Robert. Third vote goes to Jean Robert. Fourth vote goes to Colton. Fifth vote goes to Colton. Sixth vote goes to Colton. We are tied 3-3.
Tying with like everyone. Why is this?
Oh, is Colton gonna? If Colton makes it to the merge, he's gonna be part of our Survivor Suicide Squad. Even though he should have gone home so many times.
Dang it! Please let Colton go.
First vote goes to Colton. Second vote goes to Jean Robert. Third vote goes to Colton. Fourth vote goes to John. We are going to rocks.
Who would go to rocks for Colton?
We got some freaking crazy people over here. I don't think you'd go to rocks for either of them, to be honest. I would never go to rocks for Jean Robert either.
I mean, the lesser of two evils.
Yeah. I would just flip. Like, honestly, whoever I was, I would just flip at this point. Especially Russell with an idol.
Can we at least get Brandon?
You called it. Brandon goes out.
All right. 1 down, 2 to go.
Okay, so Brandon and Colton and Russell voted for Jean Robert, Joe, Jean Robert, and Brad voted for Colton.
Colton is still here.
So the Hanses have finally been split up, but we're in the merge now, so things can change. I could definitely see Russell flipping over with the girls.
Well, I mean, we have we have Russell with an idol, and we have Abby Maria with an idol. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, there are a lot of different avenues that this can go, especially since there's not too many concrete alliances.
Yeah. Yeah, I should also point out, this is technically now our Survivor Suicide Squad. This is the people who would be going into battle,
Oh, gosh. I don't know how expendable some of these people are going to be. Yeah. It's like, who's TDK? Who's this? Who's that? Who's our rat manager? Who's our
Harley Quinn?
Who's our Harley Quinn? Our
I think Chittya's our Harley Quinn, to be honest.
Who's Weasel?
We can have that be Colton. Okay, let's go here. Let's see who wins immunity. Sandra wins immunity.
Well, okay.
Okay then. No one finds the idol, and Brad and Abby bond a lot. Is Brad or Abby gonna flip?
Maybe. We shouldn't go to rocks again.
Yeah, if we go to rocks again, 2 rock draws in a row, like that would be crazy.
All right, it's got to be Colton. It's got to be Colton.
Russell does not play the idol. Gabby does not play the idol. First vote goes to Gabby. Second vote goes to Colton.
Oh, come on.
Third vote goes to Colton. Fourth vote goes to Gabby. Fifth vote goes to Colton. Sixth vote goes to Colton.
That sidebar is not.
Seventh vote goes to Colton.
It's not reassuring at all.
Eighth vote goes to Gabby. Ninth vote goes to Gabby. And then 10th vote goes to Gabby. We are tied.
This is like his 4th or 5th tie.
Yeah, honestly, he's going to have the most votes at the end of this, isn't he?
Probably.
Especially if he makes it to like the end. Like if he just keeps getting votes but just keeps skimming by.
Yikes.
Okay. First vote goes to Colton. Second vote goes to Gabby. Third vote goes to Colton. Fourth vote goes to Gabby. Fifth vote goes to Colton. Sixth vote goes to Gabby. Seventh vote goes to Gabby.
Don't.
Eighth vote and Gabby goes home.
Oh my God.
Colton. So Abby switched it. So
Abby.
Gabby flipped. Abby flipped. She said your name was too similar. We can't have a Gabby if there's an Abby.
Oh my God. Why?
This not looking good for the girls now. I think because it was an even Abby. So yeah. Brad by bonding with Abby convinced her enough to at least make the flip.
You know, I was rooting for Brad, so please let him be the winner of this season.
Yeah.
It'll make the heartache all the worthwhile.
Yeah. Yeah. To be fair, we also haven't done who's playing the best game at the merge. Who do you think's playing the best game out of all these?
I do think Abby, Maria, and Brad are two of the people that are playing a pretty good game. Russell is also up there, and just sheerly because he keeps surviving the tie votes, I have to say Colton.
Yeah, I mean, we may not like him, but like he's doing what Jason did, and we love Jason for what he was doing. So he's just doing that again. We just don't like him as much.
Aye.
Yeah. Yeah. I would honestly say these are kind of the four standouts right now. Out of what we've seen. Okay, alliances. Yeah. Reward challenge. Russell, Colton, and Chittya win reward. Oh, this is they get to watch a screening of Treasure Islands.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And it doesn't look like there's any clues for immunity here.
I mean, they never show like the clues or whatever.
Yeah.
France Steelers. But that idol was still out there.
And Sandra wins another immunity.
This is not right.
Yeah, Sandra is the challenge beast. Especially winning the first two, because it's like, these are the harder ones because there's more people. So she's beating more people. Okay. And no one finds the idol again. But this is now a very strong alliance between Brad, Colton, John Robert, Joe, and Russell.
So I guess the guys are just going to sweep it till the end.
Yeah, are they just going to take out all the girls back to back to back?
Unless, if Abby plays her idol here,
yeah,
she could take out one of the guys and even things up.
True. Yeah, it's either Abby plays her idol here or a girl goes home. So I'd say if a girl does go home, I think it's going to be Heidi.
Probably, because this simulation wants to keep Chittya and Colton.
Chittya and Colton need to make it to the end together. First one goes to Colton.
Speak of the devil.
Second one goes to Heidi. Third one goes to Heidi. Fourth one goes to Colton. Fifth vote goes to Colton. Sixth vote goes to Colton. Seventh vote goes to Heidi. Eighth vote goes to Heidi.
And it's Heidi, isn't it?
And Heidi goes home. Colton. Just making it super far.
But racking up the votes.
Yeah. Still, Abby voted for Colton. So yeah, it's just the girls voted Colton. Guys voted Heidi.
This might just be a straight up pagonging.
It looks like a pagonging is happening, which is unfortunate because we need a girl to win the season because we're gonna have 11 guys win in a row.
Yikes.
Okay, immunity. And Brad Culpepper wins immunity.
Nice.
Playing a strong game.
It has to be Sandra now.
Yeah. Chittya found the idol.
All right, so now the girls have two idols. This could mix up the game.
And their alliance dissolves.
Where's the logic this season?
Oh my god, that's hilarious. They finally have power and then they say, no, we're on our own now.
They not only have an immunity beast, they have two idols that if they play it right both times could even up the score.
Yeah.
What is going on?
They're saying, hey, let's just they're probably gonna take out Sandra here. Let's let's let that happen, and then just play our idols next time, make final 6, maybe win an immunity, and then get off the in the finale.
We'll see. It does not look good for the girls.
Okay. No. Oh, Chittya plays her idol. She just found.
All right. Now, did she play it right?
First vote goes to Chittya, does not count.
She did.
Second vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Third vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Fifth vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Sixth vote goes to Colton. And there it is. Colton finally, it takes an idol by Chittya. Chittya had, started off by, surviving the Stephanie elimination. It's now become, was kind of almost the villain for a little bit there. And now it gets kind of a hero edit because now she's taking out Colton, the big villain of the season. So now
she redeemed herself a little bit there.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So, I mean, the girls stuck together. The girls stuck together.
They did, even though they're not together.
Yeah. Okay.
So the idol will be back in play.
Yes. And let's see who wins immunity. Sandra wins another immunity.
Okay.
3 immunities. Oh, wow.
This is not right.
Yeah.
Good for her, but
something wrong is wrong with the simulation. And Chittya finds the idol again.
The girls are coming back.
Oh, this is great. And Russell isolates himself from the rest of the tribe.
So he's probably going to play his idol.
Yeah, is he drawing votes to himself to get a big flashy idol play?
Probably. There's only 7 people.
Yeah.
All the girls have a form of immunity. If they play it right.
Yeah.
Anything can happen here.
Yeah. I think the guy's going home. I think the girls are somehow going to get this out of them being behind.
If they both of them play their idols, they automatically will tie it up.
Yeah, true. Okay, let's see here. Russell does not play. Abby does not play. Chittya plays her idol again.
Oh my god. Is she gonna do 2? Is she going to bend this?
First vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Second vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Third vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Chittya, does not count. She played it correctly. Fifth vote goes to Brad.
No, please, no.
And Brad Culpepper is taken out. But hey, this is a different mixing though. Abby voted for Chittya, whereas Chittya, Russell, and Sandra. So Russell is now on with the girls.
Okay. So this is going to be interesting going forward.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe Russell decided, Brad's a big threat. Got to take him out now before we get too close to, because he also is a physical threat. Like, he did win that immunity. Don't want to get him too far.
Fair enough.
So maybe he just thought this was the best time before it gets too close.
Probably.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Okay. Let's do one more before we figure out who's playing the best game.
Yep.
Reward challenge. Chittya wins rewards, and she shares it with Abby and John Robert.
All right.
That's with the loved ones. So they get a meal of hamburger, soft drinks, cookies, and donuts.
With the 3D phone. Or was that the 3D phone?
I can't remember.
All the loved ones were like with the Sprint thing for this like little period of time.
Yeah. And Chittya wins immunity.
When did Chittya just become okay? She came to play.
Yeah, she's playing really hard. And Chittya found the idol.
I
She's
can't
guaranteed
even
Final
right
Four.
now. I can't even. I can't.
Oh, this is making me laugh so hard. This is really funny.
Going on?
I guess John Robert and Joe is now a very weak alliance.
I'm guessing John Robert.
Yeah. Yeah, I think John Robert is going home here. Okay. No one plays any idols. First vote goes to Sandra. Second vote goes to Joe. Third vote goes to Abby. Fourth vote goes to Abby.
Oh no.
Fifth vote goes to Sandra. Sixth vote goes to Sandra in a 3-2-1 votes.
All right.
Okay, so Chittya voted for Joe. So Chittya was the one. Russell and Sandra voted for Abby. And so this was Abby, John Robert, and Joe making the move against Sandra.
All right.
Okay, final five. This is the finale now. Who's playing the best game?
Chittya is just like, blew everything out of the water. Abby Maria is also playing a respectable game, and so is Russell. Though Russell, I'd say it's Chittya, Abby, Russell, and John Robert and Joe are just kind of there for the ride.
Yeah, I agree. I would put, if I tiered this group, I would say Chittya would be number 1, Russell would be number 2, Abby number 3, Joe number 4, John Robert number 5. That's how I would tier them.
All right. Yeah. We got 2 of mine and 3 of yours. So come on. Chittya. Okay. I have to
immunity. Jean Robert wins immunity.
Oh, so wait, he has immunity. Abby and Russell have their idol. So does Chittya. That means automatically
it's
Joe goes home.
Joe goes home here.
That sucks. He's getting serene.
I always wanted this to happen on one of our band steals, and it's been close a few times, but it's gonna happen. We're gonna get advantage getting.
No, that is so sad.
And if Heroes versus Villains too, this isn't modern day Survivor. This is still kind of older. So
it's Joe. There's just no other way around it.
Yeah. Russell plays the idol. Abby plays the idol on Joe.
You idiots! This is twice she's done this.
Oh my god.
What the actual fuck?
And Chittya plays the idol. So okay,
this is like the most shocking, like, what the hell gameplay I've ever seen on a brand steal.
Okay. This is how I think it went down. This is how I think this whole tribe went down. I think Jeff said, okay, if you have an idol, you can play it now. Abby plays her idol on Joe, thinking, I got out like the whoever might get a stray votes. And then Chittya plays idol, and she's like, uh-oh. And then Russell's like, you know what? I'll just play the idol too. And then Abby's just looking over, just like, what? Can I redo this?
This is like the worst thing ever for her. Oh. This is worse than what happened in Fans for Spirits.
Yeah. I mean, we can read the votes, but it doesn't matter. Even if she gets votes, it just doesn't.
Just see how everything panned out.
First vote goes to Joe, does not count. Second vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Third vote goes to Chittya, does not count. Fourth vote goes to Chittya, does not count. And Abby gets 1 vote.
It was inevitable either way.
Yeah. Man.
She was the only one to get it.
This happens twice now. She's played an idol incorrectly for someone else twice.
Abby, so Russell was the one that gave that vote. So, all right.
Russell, that's a feather in his cap now that he made that play against Abby.
All right.
Okay, let's see who wins. Final immunity. It's Chittya.
He is winning this.
Chittya, I think she won.
I mean, I wanted her out, but obviously since she's been playing this hard, I've come around.
Yeah, she's somehow managed to be immune by either idol or immunity since episode 12, part 1.
Wow.
She hasn't been vulnerable since episode 11.
It's bonkers.
Okay. So we see a vote for
So
Russell.
I think it's Russell.
I think Russell's going home. First vote goes to Russell. Second vote goes to Joe. Third vote goes to Joe. Fourth vote goes to Russell. We are tied. Are we getting fire? First vote goes to Joe. Second vote goes to Russell. We are getting fire. This could be good for Russell. If he can win this, that could be an extra thing to kind of propel him forward.
Put it on his resume.
Yeah. And Joe, the tribe has spoken.
All right.
So Russell makes it to the end.
So who was aligned with who?
Yeah, so John, Robert, and Joe, their alliance was staying strong, and Chittya and Russell. Chittya should have just voted out Russell, to be honest. If she makes it to the end with John, Robert, and Joe, I think she just gets all the votes.
Yeah. So I still think Chittya wins in this scenario.
Mm-hmm.
However, Brant Steele, this has been a lot of crazy choices that happened this season.
Yeah.
So I can definitely see Russell winning this, but I think a strong case can be made for Chittya. One, because most of her tribe is on the jury, and two, just playing a pretty decent end game.
Yeah. She played a great end game. Like she wins out. Like she just straight up just wins out. So the question is that going to get respect from the jury, or is Russell just just playing the game with no real big advantages? Like he had an idol, but like it just kind of it just helped for advantage get in. Like that's all it really did for him.
Yeah, I mean, but to be fair, he's had this since like episode 1.
Yeah, he did. He's held on to it all the way.
So we'll see. And I find it interesting that John Robert, J and R, next to Chittya starts with a J, and Russell that starts with an R.
And he's sandwiched right in there.
What if he actually wins this as in one last subversion of expectations?
No, please don't. Chittya and Russell are. I know I wanted him to do good, but he has not played this game. No, Chittya or Russell need to win this.
I agree, but
okay, proceeds to the winner reveal. There was a 4-4-1 tie for the winner.
So John Robert is the deciding vote.
Who is he going to vote for?
Is it going to be Russell?
Chittya wins. Wow.
Good job. It was well earned.
Yeah. Let's see who voted for who here. So of course Johnny, Fairplay, and Brandon voted for Russell. I think those were pretty locks for Russell.
Yeah.
Gabby voted for Chittya. Heidi voted for Chittya. Colton voted for Russell. Brad voted for Chittya. Sandra voted for Chittya. Abby was the one person who voted for John Robert, and Joe voted for Russell.
Who was a fan favorite?
Brad Culpepper.
I get behind that.
I think he played a pretty decent game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chittya is an official winner.
Yeah. Somehow. And to be honest, like I don't think her win is very replicate. Like it can't be replicated that often. Like to be able to find 3 immunity idols and win 2 immunities in the home stretch. Like to do that combination, pretty hard to do.
Impressive.
Yeah. So I think it's definitely well earned. We finally break the streak and get a woman to win after so long. Yeah, Phillip Shepherd being the first still, man. Stephanie just not being able to make it that far.
No. See, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, Colton had a lot of revotes. Like, was it 4 or 5? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 revotes.
Yeah.
On Colton.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'm curious to see how many votes he racked up. 19.
Really?
Yeah. Interesting. I wonder if this one doesn't count the revotes.
Potentially.
Because I know that the new ones definitely do. Like we saw with Jason Linden, I think he definitely didn't receive 28 just normal votes. I think that those were definitely including the revotes. So I wonder, because this is part of the old simulation. They haven't made the new version for Heroes vs. Villains, so they might not have changed that.
Okay.
But yeah, Chittya playing winning 2 immunities here. Sandra, though, being the challenge beast. Who would have thunk?
No one.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chittya only got 4 votes for her that were actual votes against her.
Wow.
Wow. What what an episode. It definitely delivered. I definitely would say that the season delivered as having a lot of big characters.
Definitely so. Like, there were so many moments where I just went wide-eyed because I'm like, what craziness.
Yeah. Chittya just suddenly like turning it on. Like she kind of Natalie Anderson did, where she just suddenly plays a very, very quiet game and then just balls out for like the last like few tribals.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Day After Podcasts.
All right, guys, we will catch you later for All Stars.
Yeah. We'll see you in the draft.
Peace.
Adios.